WWE fam, it's time for another update here on WWE News Update. Smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, and let's get into the ring of news. It finally happened. The moment we never thought we'd see again. Seth Rollins made a shocking return to another wrestling promo. It was a confession. It was redemption. It was the sound of a man haunted by guilt and driven by the hope that maybe, just maybe, the brotherhood he broke 10 years ago could be rebuilt. And whether you loved it or viewed it with suspicion, one thing is undeniable. This was one of the most emotional moments in modern WWE history. The return that shook the arena. The lights dimmed, chaos filled the ring, and for a few seconds nobody knew what was happening. Then Seth Rollins' music hit. The arena erupted. Fans who hadn't seen the architect in months were on their feet, screaming, chanting, overwhelmed by the sheer surprise of it. But Seth wasn't the man we remembered. He wasn't the confident visionary strutting in a sequin jacket, laughing maniacally as he orchestrated chaos. He came out in plain black jeans and a leather jacket, his hair tied back, his expression heavy. There was no smile, no laughter, just silence and anticipation. He stood in the ring, microphone trembling in his hand, and took a deep breath before saying words that instantly froze the WWE Universe. I wasn't supposed to be here tonight, but I couldn't stay silent anymore. A decade of regret. What followed was not a promo. It was a man unburdening his soul. Seth spoke about sitting in the back, watching WWE unravel, factions falling apart, alliances breaking, chaos spreading, and realizing something painful. I can't do this alone. I was never meant to do this alone. The crowd listened in silence as Seth's voice cracked. When the Shield was together, we were unstoppable. We changed this business. We changed wrestling. And then, I destroyed it. Those last words hung heavy in the air. This wasn't scripted bravado. It felt real. Fans saw a decade of regret pour out as Seth acknowledged the decision that forever changed WWE. The night he betrayed his brothers. A message to Roman Reigns. Then came the first emotional punch of the night. Seth turned his eyes to the camera and spoke directly to Roman Reigns. The tribal chief, the head of the table, the brother he once struck down with a steel chair. Roman, I know things haven't been the same since that night. I know I shattered something sacred between us. Every time I look at that moment, I see your face, and I hate the man I was. The biggest regret of my life was betraying the Shield. You built an empire, and I respect that. But brother, if there's even a small part of you that can forgive me, if there's even a chance for us to stand together one more time, I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm sorry. You could hear fans sniffling in the crowd. Some even started chanting, Roman, Roman, as if calling him to appear. But the stage belonged to Seth and his vulnerability. It was the kind of authenticity WWE rarely allows to breathe. The plea to Dean Ambrose. Then came the part that sent chills across the wrestling world. Seth looked down for a moment, fighting tears, before raising his head again and saying softly, Dean? Or should I say Moxley? The crowd erupted in applause at the mention of Dean Ambrose's other identity, the man who walked away from WWE years ago. Seth smiled faintly. You were always the heart of this group, the wild one who kept us grounded. You left because this place broke you. Maybe because I broke you. My betrayal made the Shield toxic. I poisoned what we built. But if you're watching this, wherever you are, I need you to know something. We need you. WWE needs you. I need you. Come home, brother. Let's finish what we started. For a brief second, you could see hope flash across Seth's face. The hope that somewhere, in some arena, Dean was watching. What a reunion could mean. Imagine it. Roman Reigns, the dominant tribal chief, Seth Rollins, the remorseful visionary, and Jon Moxley, the fearless outsider, standing side by side, not as rookies, but as battle-tested veterans who've lived, lost, and learned. A Shield reunion in 2025 wouldn't just be about justice, it would be about forgiveness. About three men who started as brothers, broke apart as rivals, and came back as men who understand what brotherhood truly means. That story, told with sincerity, could redefine what long-term storytelling in wrestling looks like. Or it could all fall apart. But here's the risk. If WWE rushes it, if they treat this as a one-week nostalgia pop, it'll destroy everything this moment stands for. Seth's apology only matters if WWE commits to the emotional weight of it. If next week, Seth goes back to laughing in flashy suits, or if Roman forgives him instantly without emotional payoff, then all of this will feel hollow. The Shield deserves a reunion that's earned, not handed out. The bloodline and vision factor. There's another wrinkle. Roman already has the bloodline, and Seth has his faction, the Vision. So how does the Shield fit into that? Does Roman turn his back on family to reunite with old friends? Does Seth abandon his followers to chase redemption? Or could WWE weave these worlds together, a collision between the Shield and the bloodline that forces Roman to confront his own values? Imagine that conflict. Family versus brotherhood. Past versus present. Loyalty versus power. That's storytelling gold, if handled correctly. Fans divided. Hope or manipulation? The fan base is split right down the middle. Some are emotional beyond words, ready to see their heroes together again. Others are skeptical, worried this is just another nostalgia ploy. Both sides have valid points. WWE has stumbled before, reviving old ideas instead of building new stars. But sometimes going back to the past isn't about running out of ideas. It's about finishing a story that was left incomplete. Maybe this is one of those times. Maybe WWE has finally realized that the Shield story wasn't about dominance. It was about brotherhood, betrayal, and forgiveness. The bigger picture. Seth Rollins' apology has opened a door, not just to a possible reunion, but to something more profound. Closure. For 10 years, this story has lingered unresolved in WWE lore. Fans have wanted to see if Seth could ever make amends, if Roman could ever forgive, if Dean could ever come home. Whether or not the Shield reunites, this single moment already matters. It reminded fans that wrestling isn't just about wins and losses. It's about stories, emotions, and humanity. Final thoughts. What happens next will decide whether this is remembered as WWE's most heartfelt redemption arc or another example of short-term nostalgia. If WWE takes the slow, emotional route, letting Seth earn forgiveness, letting Roman wrestle with pride, and letting Moxley's potential return feel organic, this could be legendary. If they rush it, it'll be another wasted opportunity. For now, though, one thing is certain. Seth Rollins' apology reminded the world why the Shield was special. Not because they were unstoppable, but because they were real. Three men who trusted each other, broke each other, and maybe, just maybe, can forgive each other. The Shield's legacy lives in every fan who grew up watching them storm through crowds and change WWE forever. And now, as Seth Rollins stands in that ring with tears in his eyes, offering an olive branch to his brothers, we're reminded that wrestling's most powerful moments aren't scripted. They're felt. Whether this leads to redemption or heartbreak, one truth remains. The brotherhood of the Shield will never die.